In our spotlight section this week, I'm delighted to say that we're joined by Charles from ARX. I was about to tell you what ARX did, but I think I let Charles do that. How are you, Charles?
Hello, and I'm very good, thank you. Beautiful day here in London. Unlike you, I don't have to isolate, so I was lucky to go out today.
Oh, glad to hear it. Can you tell us a little bit about ARX, Charles?
Yes, of course. So ARX stands for Augmented Reality Experiences. And what it does is that it augments the world with meaningful audio cues for the blind and partially sighted people. And we do this thanks to human design centered methodologies coupled with cutting edge AI and machine learning solutions. And our product is basically a wearable headset that works with an Android phone and an app. That's ARX. And basically, the headset is featuring bone conduction speakers and two high resolution cameras. And basically, the cameras can scan your surrounding and send the data to your phone, and the phone will translate the visuals into meaningful audio in a spoken language, but also in intuitive abstract language for faster and more emotional and intuitive communication.
That's great, and we met a couple of weeks ago. I was really impressed with what I saw. Can you tell us a little bit about what the headset can currently do?
Yes, absolutely. So when you wear the headset, basically you'll find that there are physical raised buttons on the headset, and these buttons enable you to trigger different modes in the app. And these modes are the modes that you would expect to see in apps like Seeing AI or in Envision AI. So you can read documents, you can read short text, you can describe scenes, you can look and search for objects, and you can read faces and remember faces. And that's just the beginning of the things you can do with the headset. And so, as I was saying, you can switch the modes using the buttons, but you can also use your voice. The headset is equipped with a microphone, and with natural language processing, we're able to extract the intentions of the user. So you don't even have to remember voice commands. You can just say anything you want to achieve in your own natural language, such as, what's in front of me? And it will trigger the appropriate mode so that you don't have to use buttons or even the touchscreen of your phone. So it's a totally hands-free experience.
I think that's really good, and it saves you having to remember specific, as you say, syntaxes that you need to deliver your commands in.
Yeah, and we found that through basically a lot of trial and error. Our process has always been to work with users, so build prototypes and then test them and learn from users. And in the very beginning, we had basically voice commands that you had to remember, and we just thought, we need this to be as easy as possible for the users, and because that's one of the foundation of the company, to be user friendly. We really invested in making this as simple to use as possible.
Charles, this is Warren, and thank you so much for coming. I remember the first time that you reached out to me, and I was saying, what is it that he's bringing to the table that is different from what we already have? We already have a bunch of these things. And then, I was saying, well, let's see what he has. And of course, after you explained it, it all made sense to me. And that was back in December, wasn't it? You met us or came across Blind Android as a result of something I hosted for SciTech Global back in December. And that's how we met. And so it has come full circle, and it's beautiful to see you talking with us here today. Now, I know sometimes the things that stands as a hindrance to a lot of our blind users is the price. I know this thing is a very good product. It talks about it because he's got to see it. And devices in this class are, like, $2,000, $3,000 or whatever. Would you take us down that road and what are we looking at, price wise? Because people are like, give us the bottom line. I think that's the most important thing. We want to know how much that thing is going to cost. So take us down that line, and as we stack it against the other solutions in this class.
Absolutely. So basically, as you said, and that's one of the reasons for ARX to be founded. Devices of that class are very expensive, and the purpose of accessibility devices is that they should be accessible to all, and this is what we want to democratize the accessibility devices. And so in order to achieve a lower price, we've made very important design and technology choices in our product. And so that has, and I can talk about that later if you're interested in that. But basically the price, the retail price will be $1,299 for the headset and the app.
That's beautiful. Now, is there any payment plans, or you guys are not at that point? In other words, is there a way through which people could say, hey, I want to pay you instrumentally. Maybe I'll pay you in 6 months or 3 months or whatever. Do you guys have any such plans?
I think we are completely open to it, yes. We've not decided on them yet, but we know that that's something we'll be able to do. And since we're launching in the next few weeks, we'd be really happy to enable more people to access the device. So we'd love to do something like this.
This is Fee. I'm wondering about the logistics of it in terms of data. Does the app need to go online in order to describe things, or can it do it offline, or can you do either? And if it does go online, I'm wondering how much data that it uses, because that might be important to some people. And also, I live in London as well, and some places, and it might be even more of a problem in, if you're in a rural area, you don't always have a signal. So I'm wondering about the logistics of that, really.
Absolutely. So yes, ARX needs actually performs much better when the Android device is connected to the internet, but it does always work without internet. So you can do basic things when you're not connected. You can still describe scenes, you can still read text, do all the major things you'd like to do. But when you're connected to the internet, you get access to the cloud, and we can do much more advanced computation. And so the results will be more accurate, and there will be more features available. In terms of data, we are basically when we're sending very small images to the cloud, because our machine learning algorithms don't rely on high definition images. So we are not actually sending a lot of data. It's basically very small files to analyze audio and a few images.
Can you say a little bit more about the form factor? You mentioned it's a headset, but could you describe it a little bit more as to how that works? Is it in ear, over the ear?
It's actually like an ARC. So it's also, like the name ARX. So the headset is like an ARC that resembles bone conduction headphones like the AfterShokz. And so you have two rubber pads that sits on your cheeks, and then the ARC goes behind your head over your hair. And the back of the ARC rests on the back of your head or your neck. And so it's quite lightweight. It weighs about 115 grams. And so on the left side, you have two control buttons to change the volume of the audio. And on the right side, you have 3 buttons: a square button, a circle button, and a triangle button. And this right side also has the 2 cameras. And the advantage is that it basically doesn't cover your face. So it just looks like speaker headphones for listening to music.
Can you wear it with glasses? Because some of us have to wear I have to wear dark glasses most of the time. And some of these devices, they don't always work well with glasses. Glasses and the device kind of get in each other's way.
Yes, I actually wear glasses when I do some of the coding, and obviously I wear the headset as I do that. And with my glasses, it's actually fine. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
I'm not visually impaired. I'm not the end user. I cannot make assumptions about what the user needs. And so that's why very early on, we developed really basic prototypes to get the product out there and start getting user feedback. A year ago, we were doing things in a wrong way. So we keep iterating and testing with users every week to learn what needs to be fixed and how we can make the experience even better. It's all about that feedback. Actually, we're seeing that the community is being wonderful and helping us develop the product. And that's a real pleasure for us to get involved.
Is there any sound leakage? Because I remember my first set of aftershocks, which doesn't work anymore, but my first set of aftershocks, I couldn't listen to something on them in the same room as somebody else without distracting them because there was so much sound leakage. And so I just wonder, is that a problem with this device or not?
So you can actually, because you can control the volume, basically, and also it also depends how you wear the rubber pads. If you get them very close to your ears on a low volume, you'd still hear it quite strongly, but no one else can hear it because it's just vibrations. But obviously, if you put it on really high volume in a library, I think maybe the person next to you might hear it a bit.
Like any headphones, I suppose. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the purpose of the choice of going for bone conduction is twofold. First, it's just like runners wear bone conductions because they want to be able to listen to their music and also hear their surroundings to avoid cars and things like that. And the second reason is privacy, because if you're reading your bill or your credit card details with the device in public, you don't want other people to hear that. And so the wearer is the only listener.
Where does the data go when you're using the cloud? Is it just your servers or do you use Google's servers or what do you?
We actually use a variety of services. So basically our philosophy is that if there is something that already works out there, we're going to use it. And if nothing exists, then we create it. And so our app is a combination of things we've invented and created and of APIs by Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. But I think that, they're all very secure and we obviously don't share private information. And for everything that is text related, actually never goes on the cloud.
Oh, that's good. Because I was just thinking if I had a letter from the bank or the hospital or something, privacy is more and more of a concern to people. So it's good to know that you don't send text into the cloud because, that could be quite a worry for quite a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all the text reading is done on device.
That's fantastic. So if you're in a place where, I've been in restaurants before with no signal, and even in London, they're just whatever the building's made of. There's no phone signal, and if the menu's not online, it'd be amazing to be able to still read the menu with this thing, this device you've made. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think we tested it with Ed actually, and we were able to read the menu in the London cafe.
We were.
That's great.
Charles came out to my neck of the woods and we went to a coffee shop. Just while we're on text, Charles, can you talk a little bit about how the headset guides the user so they know when they've got the menu lined up? Because you've got audio cues for that, haven't you?
Yes, exactly. And that's, again, the result of making our first version of the document scanner and having people testing it remotely and saying it doesn't work. And I was like, well, are you sure? Because when I use it, it works. And we realized that basically users didn't have a way to know where they were placing the document in front of them. And so they didn't have a way to know if it was in the frame. And so as a result, we built what we call the spatializer. And what the spatializer does is that when it sees the document, it tells you if it's on your left or on your right, using the stereo channel of the bone conduction headset. So if you hold the document on your right side, you'll hear a beep that's coming from the right. And if you hold it on the left side, you'll hear the beep on the left channel. And therefore, you'll know you have to move it in the center. And when it's in the center, you can hear it equally on the left and right channels. And that basically is done so that you have a sense of where is your field of view and where is the thing that has been detected. And the same spatializer is applied obviously in the document, but also in object search. So if you're looking for a bag, for example, you'll hear, or a door, you'll hear the beep depending on where is the door around you. And we're doing this because basically the ultimate idea that our product we want to achieve is to sonify, to create a soundscape of your surroundings. And that's why this is all about augmented reality with audio. We want to augment the world with audio in that way and spatialize things.
What if I'm holding the document too high or too low rather than left or right? I'm fascinated with this.
And so, very good question. At the moment, we're not saying move it up or move it lower, but it is on our roadmap to say these things, basically.
I think you need, and also, for example, quite often I read documents or a little bit of enough of my post to know what it is with my phone's camera. And I don't always know how far away should I hold this from the document, because it depends how big the writing is, which of course I can't see because I can only see light and that's it. So does it have a way, or will it in the future have a way to maybe let you know? So I'm wondering, have people had problems with that, and did you find solutions or not?
So it is not the biggest problem, but it is a problem. And so we're able to estimate the distance of an object because we have two cameras on the headset. So we're able to reconstruct a depth map that basically tells us the distance of things.
Like your eyes would, I suppose.
Even more precisely, actually. But yes, it creates, because we get a metric value of how far the object is. And we also can tell how much space it takes in the frame. And so in the case of documents, we can say, yes, you should take it a bit farther because it's too close. And actually right now, when you scan a document too close, we say there might be some text above or below the document. But another use case for the depth map is that we want to use that to detect obstacles and basically enable what we call the last 5 meter problem, where we were talking with a user last week, and they were explaining that they use Blind Square to go and find a location and go there. But once they arrive at the location, basically a GPS cannot give you the granularity you need to find the right door. And
no, it's true.
So this is something we want to solve with the combination of the features that we have.
Presumably, if I'm looking, for example, for a shop or a house number, this app would read that for me, would it?
Yes, so if you used the short text mode, so we have users who told us that they really liked it to walk around in the streets or inside a shop or something because it just reads everything that it can see.
Fantastic.
Tell me something, Charles. I know this is akin to the VR headset. Now, does one always have to use this thing in tandem with the phone, or can it be used independently without one needing to tag along the phone?
So you actually always need to use a phone, but the phone can be in your pocket and can be, you don't need to interact with the phone anymore. The reason is that the phone is the brain. It's the computing power that does all the machine learning and the calculations to create the audio cues. And this is also, this is a choice we've made because we want this device to grow with the ecosystem. And that means two things. The first thing is, there's a new iPhone every year. There's a new Android phone every year. And they get more powerful and they're able to do wonderful things. And we want the headset to grow with that. So the headset is a peripheral for your Android phone. And therefore it grows with it. And the second thing is, at first we thought that we could make this great app that could solve all the problems. And then we learned from users that they love having a variety of apps, like Blind Square, like Seeing AI, like, all these apps that are really good at doing one specific thing. And instead of implementing all of the same features, we were thinking about including a feature where you can actually call someone and they could see what your headset sees. We think we want to collaborate with the other apps. And so we've built an SDK and we're starting to talk to other companies to basically make the headset compatible with all the apps out there. And so that's why we want the headset to work with the phone all the time.
You mentioned some design choices you'd made, Charles, because of wanting to keep the costs down. Could you talk to us a little bit about that? What decisions you made and why you went down the route you went down?
Absolutely. So the core design choice that we've made is to not make ARX a standalone device, but to make it a peripheral. And so therefore, there's no battery in the headset. And it doesn't repeat the components that are present in your smartphone, the expensive ones. And so that's basically why we're able to make it more affordable than, let's say, an Orcam.
How does it connect to the phone?
Via a USB-C cable.
Okay, so that's how it gets the power then, through the wire?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Well, Charles, you've given us a lot of your time, and frankly, you had offered us 30 minutes, and you've been here with us a whole lot longer, and we do want to thank you so much for agreeing to come. And would you be willing, Charles, later on, because I know you guys are in the process of doing a lot of things and all of that, would you be willing to come again should some new thing happen, or, you guys have updated SDKs or things that you want to talk about? Would you be willing to come back and talk with our listeners again?
Yes, absolutely. It will be my pleasure. And thank you so much for receiving me today and for the opportunity to talk with all of you guys and to share ARX with the community.
Thanks
very much.